Hi, I'm Titli Nihaan, and this is my squinty greenhouse. Well, that's better. I'm not squinting, but now I've got deep shadows on this side of my face. Filming outdoors is great fun. Anyway, this week we've had two types of weather. One is extremely cold with a bitterly easterly wind, and the other one is extremely wet. And today the sun's come out, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to spend today in the greenhouse because everywhere's so wet out there. So it's just my neighbour Jim waving at me from over the fence. Now I, probably along with many other people, used to call these Christmas cactuses because they come into flower just before Christmas. This one has been in flower just before Christmas and it's coming into flower just before Easter as well. So it must be a Creaster cactus? This is the avocado stone that I planted towards the end of last year. It's doing rather well, isn't it? It's about 18 inches tall now, but the roots are starting to poke through the bottom, so I think it's time to pot it up. This is just a multi-purpose compost I'm using. Carefully remove the pot. Oh yeah, it's definitely ready for potting up. Look, lots of roots here, good roots. So pop him in, fill around with compost, and then a good watering. Now this is going to go back indoors because it's too cold out here at the moment for my little friend. Oh look, there's a little spider. Bizarre. Well, he's not coming indoors, he's going to stay outdoors. This is my rather sad-looking aspidistra plant. Now it looks a little bit sad and neglected, and the leaves have come and gone over the years, but I think where I've got it in the house at the moment, it gets a bit too much light and it's probably a bit too warm. You can tell that by the scorch marks on the leaves, and the fact the leaves are actually quite pale. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take him out of here, refresh the compost and put him back in again. Come in, my little friend. Out you come. Let's have a look at you. Oh, there's good roots on it. There's certainly very good roots on it. It's rather good, actually. Just sweep up this manky compost and I'll toss this on the garden. So what I've got left I'm going to put into a slightly smaller pot. That was the old pot. This is the new pot. And with the root system that size, it should fit just nicely. Well, let's pop in some fresh compost. Pull out the twigs. And then carefully fill in the compost around the roots. Can you name the tune and the band? And I'll give him a really good water. Make sure that all the compost is in contact with the root system. There we are. Now I need to find him somewhere nice and cool to live. And of course the coolest place anywhere around here is right next to me. Yeah. So let's have a little update on the tomatoes and the chilies. Ta-da! I've got 4 tomato plants that have come up. And actually they're getting quite tall so that they're actually hitting the top of the propagator. So I'm going to have to pop these 4 into little pots. So the first issue, of course, is going to be getting them out. And I'm hoping that, yay, they'll just pop out like this. And carefully drop him into his new home. Good. Just fill around with a little bit of compost. and finish off by giving them a little water. There's no sign of any chilies coming up yet, but then they were a bit slow last year. Well, that's all my indoor friends taken care of, and this little lot needs to go back inside where it's nice and warm and frost free. Back in a minute. I'm back. Right, let's have a little update on some other things that I'm growing in my greenhouse. No sign of anything in the sweet peas apart from these little weeds. Get rid of them. Ick. Nothing in the parsnips. Nothing in the leeks apart from a couple of weeds. But the alyssum are germinating. Woot! My two parsleys, my flat leaf and my curly parsley, are doing quite well. But there's a lot of dead growth here that needs getting rid of. And I find the best way is to just kind of pull it out. Give it a tug and out it'll come. Tug. Tug. By pulling it out from the base, it stops you having all these dead little bits of stalk in the middle of your plant. It's a good way to harvest it too. That's a lot better. Give them a nice watering too. So to finish off this week, I'm going to start growing a couple of things that I've never grown before. And I quite like the idea of growing these because they'll come handy in cooking if it's successful. One is lemongrass and the other is Thai basil. Now when I went to B&Q yesterday, they hadn't got any seed compost. So I'm using this multi-purpose compost, but I'm passing it through a riddle to try and get out all the twigs and other big things that you tend to get in multi-purpose composts. So what I'm left with are all these bits and lumps of fibre and twig and all sorts of stuff. But underneath I've got myself a nice fine light compost which would be great for sowing seeds in. I mean, it's amazing what you find in compost sometimes. I mean, look at this. It's a piece of glass. Oh, the dog can smell something in the garden. Maybe it's another cat. Here comes man to tempt him away with his duck. Now I'm going to plant both sets of seeds into one small seed tray. This half I'm going to put the basil, this half I'm going to put the lemongrass. Just give it a sprinkle, just to dampen it. I don't need to soak it. Then down this end, I'll gently sprinkle on the basil. And down this end, I'll sprinkle on the really fine lemongrass seeds. And finally, I'll cover them with a very thin layer of 2 parts compost to 1 part sand. This just makes it very free draining. And then I need a couple of labels, basil at this end and lemongrass at this end, so I know which end is which. And then I'm going to slip the whole lot inside a plastic bag. And this needs to go in the house somewhere that's going to be really warm, about 20 to 25 degrees. You know, it's almost impossible to find fresh lemongrass around here, and when you do find it, it's outrageously expensive. So I'm hoping that lot germinates and I can enjoy some delicious Thai flavours next summer. Well, that's all I've got time for this week. I've got my coffee, I need to go and edit this video, so thanks for watching and do join me next time in Titli's busy garden.